Hey guys, it's Mike at westendmotorsports.com here with a new project that we're working on. And so this is going to be um, a sort of, I guess, a podcast type of thing, vlog, whatever you want to call it. We're going to be doing this weekly. So every Wednesday, we should have a new episode out for you. And what we're going to primarily be doing is answering questions that are pretty common within the industry. So, there's a lot of stuff that we answer quite a bit. And there's just a lot of things that people do wrong, when they're upgrading their motorcycles and when you're putting new parts on your bike. And so part of the purpose of this is to sort of broadcast the answers to those questions that we've been giving to people for 20 years here. We're going on year 20. Um, and so to do that, and so unfortunately, we've been trying to figure out a way. Unfortunately for me, I have to be on this end of the camera. I guess unfortunately for you guys too, but we've been trying to figure out a way to do something like this that would be engaging and helpful and informative, and sort of provide answers to questions that just honestly a lot of people within the industry have when you're buying the types of parts that we sell, so we're going to do this every week. We're also hoping to at some point um, roll in some interviews with some industry professionals, whether that's a guy who's a independent shop, dyno guys, guys, maybe they run Harley dealerships, some people within the industry that, work at different brands, different manufacturers, some of my colleagues in those spaces. And so just give you sort of an inside look on a lot of different fronts into the industry. And part of the reason that I thought it was something worthwhile is I see a lot of stuff in the influencer space. I mean, I'm honestly not that big on social media or anything like that, but in YouTube, there, obviously, there's a lot of people within our demographics that use YouTube all the time. I'm one of them. Obviously, you're one of them too. We are going to syndicate this out to other platforms as well, but we all use YouTube all the time, especially when we're trying to purchase something or buy something that you really need to buy or that you really need to see and feel, and you don't get to feel it, but with a video hopefully you get to feel for it, and so you're on here, you're shopping and whatever, and we've been really successful with helping that process along with our exhaust videos, because it's obvious you need to know how something sounds before you could buy it, or at least get a pretty good idea. And so we've done well there, but we haven't really done a good job with some of the other parts that we sell and carry and sell a lot of, because it's not as effective as hearing those slip-ons for the first time. And so, we're kind of going to talk through this. It's going to be a little bit more of a dialogue between you guys and myself, and then, like I said, some other people within the industry as well. Um, we're not looking to. I'm not looking to do this full time. I sell motorcycle parts for a living, and that's what I've done for 20 years. And so this is just a way to sort of, like I said, broadcast out to a bigger audience than just the people that we speak on the phone with, and get you guys some good information, hopefully. And so it's gonna realistically, I'm hoping that this is kind of a living, breathing thing. And I've got a sort of rough structure of where I want it to be, but we're not looking to make this thing some kind of super regimented type of podcast, because like that's just not going to happen, right? So what we're catering to is to you, our customers, and the questions that you have, and wherever that leads us, that's where we're going to follow. And so we may end up talking to people in completely different industries, completely different trades, and maybe we could find a lot of similarities because we're running a small business, they're running a small business, and a lot of you guys out there are running small businesses. Maybe we'll get a couple of our trucker friends on the phone, because we know a lot of you guys out there trucking and working hard, and maybe running your own business doing that too. Got a fair bit of stories to share, and especially when it comes to your own history with riding and stuff like that. So really, I just honestly see a lot of bullshit out there, and that's not something that we've ever done. I'm not really trying to push you guys in one direction or the other. Just sort of want to cut to the quick for you, help you figure out how to make the choices on your own and how to decide what the right part is for your bike the first time. And that's what we've always been focused on. And so at the end of the day, that's sort of the I guess the defining ethos of what we're trying to do here. So all that being said, just because this is the first episode and we want to give you an idea of what we are, if you're not familiar with us, um, we're westendmotorsports.com. We're an aftermarket e-commerce retailer of Harley and Indian parts and accessories mainly. So, we always tell people we've got everything you want and nothing you need. So we don't sell replacement parts. We sell accessories. We don't sell really repair parts, unless by repair, you're fixing a motor by putting a big bore kit in or something like that. But most of our things are upgrades and I always tell people we sell stuff you want, or we sell things you don't need for something you don't need, because very few of us need a motorcycle. It's not our primary mode of transportation. So in that sense, it's pretty fun to do these things, but you can spend a lot of you can spend a lot of money the wrong way on the wrong parts, and it can cost you quite a bit doing that. And so, like I said, we're hoping to kind of guide you a little bit there and have fun while we're doing it. We've been in business and I've been doing this since 2004. So we are on year 20 of primarily just e-commerce. So we don't have a storefront. We have an office and a warehouse that we inventory and ship out of. And so that's been our main focus for 20 years. So 2004, we were pretty early on in the e-commerce space. Our website, looking at it now, was a joke, but it got started. My dad actually started the company. It was actually my stepdad, if for any reason I ever talk about my biological dad. He passed in October of 22, but he started the company in 2004. He got laid off, started the company because he had gotten into riding at the time. He was riding a Yamaha Roadstar. They had become really big. Um, Great sounding bikes. That's what he could afford. Couldn't afford a Harley, so he got a Roadstar and started accessorizing it, and noticed that there was a need in the market for access to those parts for those metric bikes, which were really growing at the time. I mean, don't get me wrong, Harley was huge too. You're talking 03, 04, 100th anniversary. People waited, a year or more for some of those bikes. Um, but the metric segment was really sort of underserved, so that's what we focused on. And that was the year I graduated high school. And so, long story short, I had some other plans that didn't work out that good. And so I went to work December of 2004 full time, and I had worked with them getting the store set up while I was still at school, and or still going to school rather. So I've been doing this since I'm 17, truthfully, to be honest with you. And so this is officially year 20 for us, and it's things a lot of things have changed, but a lot of things have stayed the same. And so, I've got a lot of experience. We've done pretty high volume for that duration, being online, and, watching the business go up and down. And now we're back up again. I bought my dad out in 2017. So I've been the sole owner of the company since then. Um, and we've seen our own ups and downs as far as just running and managing a business, and um, certainly without a finance education in finance, and but just knowing our product and knowing our customers and our people, and luckily we've been pretty fortunate to be on the up as far as revenue goes since we've taken over. And so we've been fortunate to sort of take this company to the next level, from where my dad gave it to me, and now we'd like to get to one more level up above us. So um, we've seen a lot of competition come and go over that time period. If you've been in this space for the last 20 years, you know that there's a lot of places you've used to buy parts from that aren't there, and there's some new ones too. And so we're still kicking, we're still around, and we're still doing really well. And again, very fortunate for that. So that's just a quick sort of background on us, and what I think gives us some credentials. Certainly we can be wrong, but we've got pretty large sample sizes when it comes to different aftermarket products, considering that's all we've done. And I'm sure we've got our own biases and perspectives because we're not mechanics, we're not dyno guys. I don't have to put the parts on, you guys do. And so, maybe there's that, but we're just like I said, looking to get to the bottom of that, and help you guys figure out what's good, and a good process for figuring that out on your own in the end. And so that being said, that's just the background of what we're going to do here. That's our background. And on top of that, we've got another big plan. We've got a pretty big project coming up here that we're going to need some engagement from you guys, hopefully, if you want to. And so we've got this 2017 Street Glide that I've owned since it was new, and that's the bike that we put all of our demo stuff on. So slip-ons, exhaust, we've done cams, we've done tons of dyno stuff on that bike. It is primarily a demo bike. I've ridden it. I think we got about 1,000 miles on it, and I'd be willing to bet that a good portion of that is dyno miles. So it's a pretty pristine bike in that sense, other than a couple nicks and scratches that came along the way, getting moved and stuff like that. So I was thinking about trading in and getting a new bike and kind of starting over. Um, and then I was thinking to myself, well, to really, I mean, yeah, there is differences between the new bikes, but not a lot. As a percentage, how different is a 23 or 24 from a 2017? When you look at the whole bike outside of just stuff in the motor and like RDRS, which is your rider assist system, it's not a lot really. You're bolting on the same parts. When it comes to the stuff that we sell, that we carry, you're bolting on the same parts. It's the same seats, it's the same exhaust, it's the same chrome bolt-ons. Maybe we're talking about different clutch lines, clutch cables, stuff like that, but handlebars are the same. And so I got to thinking that maybe it would be a fun thing if we took that bike and step by step we built it out, and we built it out in a interactive kind of way where we're not actually building it out. You build it out. Oftentimes you'll see somebody's bike build, whether it's a manufacturer and all they do is plaster on their parts and put their logo on it and put some flashy paint job so you notice it. But I thought it would be really cool to take this bike that we have and basically have you tell us what you want to put on it, and then we'll buy the parts. Nobody's giving us anything for free, I'm sure. I'll try, but nobody's giving us anything for free. And in the end, it doesn't really matter if they do or not, because you guys are going to pick what goes on there. And so what we'll do is every week we'll have probably three parts to choose from, essentially, or three options for you to choose from. And I think we're going to do it in the order that most people should build their bike out in. And so that's something that a lot of people don't consider. You might want this, you might want that. You have this kind of picture in your head of the way you want your bike to be, or you saw a bike that you thought was awesome, but you have no idea really how to get to that finish line. And there's a lot of pitfalls in between the starting line and the finish line when it comes to putting your bike together. And you could spend a lot of time and a lot of your own money um, changing parts that you've already paid to put on. And so, you know, um, we're going to try to do this in a methodical, sort of systematic way. It doesn't need to be perfect, but certain things, certain traps that people fall into that end up costing them money, we're going to try to avoid. And we're going to tell you why and explain it to you. And ultimately, we're going to let you guys pick what goes on the bike, and maybe we'll have to repick. Maybe the votes go in to put something on the bike, and then it just doesn't all come together, and we've got to go back and do it. And we're going to start, like I said, in order, which is important. We're going to start with our exhaust. Right now on the bike, we've got um, a dual system, crossover system, standard with two slip-on mufflers in the back of the bike. We've got some extended bags. So, we've got to decide, do we want to keep those? Do we want to change those? Do we want to keep that system, change the mufflers, which we could do. We could try a bunch of different mufflers. Do we want to change to a 2-into-1 type system? Do we want to make the bike a big wheel, a fat front tire? We want to make a performance bagger out of this thing. What do we want to do? What's the general thing that we want to do? And truthfully, um, because I sell everything, I don't really care which direction you guys go in. And so I thought it'd be kind of fun for you to get a trial run in here at my expense, and figure out what it is that you want to do to your bike. And so um, this podcast isn't going to be just about that, but that's going to be a big feature of this podcast weekly going forward. And so this first episode here, or whatever you want to call it, this is going to be our our lead into that. And we'll be promoting it all on all of our social medias and stuff like that. So I just wanted to bring that up, let you guys know that we're doing that. We'll be engaging quite a bit. We're going to do all the polls on Twitter, X, whatever, because it's easy to do polls on there. But we'll send links. We'll provide links um, to the polls. We'll provide links to all the products on the website. Um, and maybe if the polls are close, maybe we'll do like a deep dive into what the differences might be between these different products, or maybe we'll do that before we go into the polls, and then again, you guys get to decide what you want to do, and it's not going to cost you a dime. And I think at the end we can decide also together what we want to do with the bike. Um, I think maybe we auction it off for charity or something like that. Maybe we give it away to one of you guys, one of the users that's been responding and helping build the bike. I don't know, but if nothing else, we can have a little bit of fun. It doesn't cost you anything. A little bit of time every week just to go in and sort of figure out what you want, and hopefully we all get something out of it. So that's a quick overview, which is all we wanted to do today. And we're going to be doing this weekly. So we're not doing this for like ads. I'm not monetizing these videos. So, I don't really have any, you know, alternative motives other than we're just trying to feature our brand, feature brands that we work with, and do something that provides some value to you as well. So I appreciate you taking your time out to watch this. I'm hoping we'll get better as this thing goes along. I'm sure we'll get some better technology and stuff. This is just kind of a kickoff here. And so if there's anything that you guys think should be changed or upgraded or we can work on, throw it in the comments, man. Just don't be a dick about it. And I will take it under advisement. So and we'll work towards making this thing cool and fun and kind of a um and something that you want uh, to tune into. If there's anything that you want to see, any brands or manufacturers that you'd like to see us talk to, I'm sure after a while you get a pretty good idea for the way we go about stuff here. Um, and so if there's anything that you want to see specifically, definitely reach out. I've got a handful of ideas for some good people within the industry that we'd love to talk to and just sort of broadcast on a bigger level. Um, but let us know. That's what this whole thing's about. So I appreciate your time again. If you got some buddies that you think will have fun doing that, by all means, share this with them as well. And let's do this thing and let's have fun doing it. Thanks for watching, guys. We really appreciate it.